Hey guys, it's Michael. I'm here and I'm getting ready to put a brand new pair of chewy eggs into an incubation container, and I figured I'd make a quick video to show you guys how I do it, how I incubate my eggs, how I keep them, how I position them, that kind of stuff. So for starters, this is just a pretty basic Tupperware. You'll see, here I'll open it up. On one end, there's a very small hole, and I open these things periodically through the incubation process, but really not that much. And with just one little hole, I haven't had any problem with the incubation medium drying out. As you can see here, I use their Apache Super Hatch. It's always been good stuff to use. I have no problem with it. So, starting off actually, here is a pair of eggs that I got earlier from Yogi and Nala actually. So I'll show you a comparison in a minute of how much bigger they are than brand new chewy eggs. So you can see here, I pretty much bury the eggs about halfway when I put them in the container. I've had pretty good success with this method. Actually, with fertile Chahoua eggs, I've had 100% success rate doing it this way. So seem to be doing something right. Anyway, so these eggs are now about a month old. Obviously the new ones that I just got tonight are only maybe a couple hours old, if that. So I'll show you guys this difference in size. There you go. Oops. So it's a little bit hard to tell probably, but the pair on the right is definitely a good bit larger. If I dug them out of the super hatch and showed you, the size difference would probably be pretty evident, but here it might be kind of hard to tell. So again, I got lucky. This pair of eggs was also really nicely calcified. They're very hard, very white, not quite as white as these brand new ones, but again, it's been a really good season and I've been really happy so far. So, since these eggs are about a month apart, I don't have any problem putting them in the same container. So the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to turn this around here. I'll kind of dig out a little spot in the super hatch here. Get down here so you guys can see how this works. Make a little indentation for the eggs. And now I will pop them in here. With chewy eggs, you want to make sure that you always bury them the way that you found them. So I wouldn't want to turn them the other side, the wrong side up or something like that. But the way that you position them is not so much a problem as long as they're the side up that you found them on. So at this point, I'll kind of scoot some of the super hatch around the edges of the eggs here, just so that they're a lot like these eggs here, right next to them. You can see that's that. And then I've got a Sharpie pen here that I will use to mark them with the date. So give me 1 second. 27 CC for Clifford and Cleo. One thing you do want to make sure of is that the super hatch is decently in good shape before you put the eggs in there. You don't ever want to be in a situation where you are having to re-wet super hatch part of the way through the incubation process. I had an issue with this a couple years ago where I had an egg, it was one egg, and I put it in the incubation medium and I had to re-wet it through the process. And interesting, the egg more or less blew up and became a golf ball towards the end of the incubation process, and it swelled with so much water that it basically broke. And I found out later, I don't know that it can be proven, it's kind of a theory, but when Chahoua eggs are laid, they tend to kind of set and adapt to their surroundings. So you probably have a short period of a couple hours where the egg kind of sets based on the humidity and the air temperature and things like that. If you deviate too much from that in the incubation process, things go wrong. So my guess is what happened is the egg became used to this somewhat arid climate because I needed to re-wet the super hatch, and when I did, it became much too wet, and the porous shell of the egg ended up absorbing a lot of the water and ultimately bursting. Not bursting, but leaking. So, anyway, that's about it. That's how I keep these guys. So far, my incubation times are running usually around 150 days, like 143 to about 162. So at this point, I'm going to close it up, and there we go. It'll sit like this for probably the next 4+ months, and we'll wait to see what pops out. Thanks.